I have a confession to make. I'm not going to be able to fix all of your problems. I'm not going to be able to keep you and your partner from ever fighting again. That's just not how any of this works. You are going to get in another fight in your relationship. The question is, will you be ready to fight in a way that brings you closer together rather than pushes you further apart? You're listening to Permission to Desire, a podcast for the curious, the courageous, and everyone who wants to consciously build a relationship on their own terms. I'm your host, Brian G. Murphy, an author and certified relationship coach, and in this show, we explore what it means to build fuller, more alive relationships and erotic lives. You will see what's possible when you find the courage to tell the truth about what you really want, say goodbye to shame, shoulds, and scarcity, and finally, go after it. And today we're talking about how to fight better. Yes, fighting is not a bad word in relationships. It's how you fight that matters. If you are in a relationship for any significant amount of time, at some point, the two of you are going to bump into each other. That could be a full-on fight, or major disagreements, or even just tension in your relationship. And when that happens, it's probably going to feel like you're playing a little bit of tug of war, right? Where one of you is trying to win. It feels like that in order for you to win, your partner has got to give way or give up. And in order for them to win or to, feel good about whatever it is you're disagreeing over, you are going to have to give in or give up in some capacity. And that's just not a good approach to fighting. In this episode, you're going to learn a new way to approach conflict. It's a reframe for your ideas about fighting, disagreement, tension, conflict, whatever you call it in your relationship, so that in the end, you walk away feeling like you've both won and that you've both grown closer together as a couple. It's sort of our default mode that when conflict arises, we put the conflict in the middle of the two of us. It's over here. Imagine you were sitting across from your partner at dinner and there's a basket of rolls with one last roll in it. And so you reach for it and he reaches for it, and that right there, that's the conflict. We want to think of things a little bit differently. Rather than having the conflict be something that sits in the middle with you and your partner on either side playing this game of tug of war, which is a lot less fun when you're grown-ups and it's an argument than it was when we were kids at camp, right? So in tug of war, or tug of the dinner roll, to keep that earlier analogy going, I guess, one of you is going to have to give up ground in order for the other one to win, for you to get what you want, right? That's how this conflict is set up. So let's not play that game. Instead, scoot around the dinner table. Be one of those obnoxious couples that sits on the same side of the table at a restaurant. I hope that's not you. If it is, I apologize. I don't mean to yuck your yum. Keep on cozying up on the same side of the booth as your sweetie. Or maybe let's move this to a more cozy setting. Think about sitting side by side on the couch and then put the conflict on the coffee table directly in front of you. It's over there and you're both over here together, side by side, figuring out what to do with this thing over there, this conflict. But it's now over there outside of you. And if you can do that, if you can put it outside of you and you can keep yourselves on the same side, it removes some of its sting a little bit. Now, sometimes when I notice tensions rising with one of my partners, we will physically and literally sit side by side rather than across from one another. We will get up and we will move positions to be next to each other. We'll make sure that our knees are touching, or I'll rest a hand on his thigh, or maybe he'll hold my hand. And this is all to remind us, or if you do this, to remind you that you are a united team. When we're in those times of conflict, we need these embodied reminders. We need both the metaphoric reframing of the conflict being over there and us being over here, as well as the literal physical presence of one another. And now your goal is no longer to get the thing, to grab it for yourself, whatever it might be in your scenario, whether it's more sex, or to go to your family's house for the holidays, or like that you want to communicate in a certain way, or like to agree that your version of the fight from last night or last week is the correct version, or like if you want to change the structure of your relationship and do it your way, or you're fighting over like you want to go see a hookup and that's making him upset for some reason, or like I don't know, it's like, or trying to like settle a score from him not being home when he said he would, or like any number of things. Like whatever it might be, you're no longer trying to grab it and win it for yourself. It's over there, and you're gonna figure this out together. Whatever it is, put the conflict over there, and the two of you are over here on this side together, and you're figuring out a way forward that works for all of you. Now, in order to do that, you might need to like go beyond your initial instincts to figure out like what the solution is. You might have to see things, if only temporarily, from his perspective. You might have to like really get in tune with what you actually are thinking, feeling, wanting, needing, beyond just this like knee-jerk response. Like someone once said to me that a lot of arguments in couples and relationships boil down to each of us insisting to the other one, like, see me pretty, see me pretty, see me pretty, which is like just like, see me in my best light. We all want our partner to see that like we're not the bad guy, that it's not our fault, that we're like that we're worth redeeming. That you care about this person. Like, of course you want him or her or them to see you pretty. And so if you can just acknowledge that that is also in the room, we all really care deeply about what our partners think of us. It's like, that changes how you approach and where you go from here in the conflict, from a place of like, I need to get mine versus like, we need to come back together and we need to figure this out together. The way through is to first understand each other. You might not agree. You might have different priorities. In rare cases, it might even be that you have fundamentally different values. That's like pretty rare. So hopefully not you. I have some videos on how to communicate more effectively in relationships in general, which I will link to in the show notes of this episode. If you're able to reframe your thinking away from we're in competition, our interests are working against one another, in order for one of us to feel good, the other one has to give something up. And you're able to change that to, we're over here, the conflict is over there, and together, the two of us are going to figure out how to address this issue and find a way forward together. That changes the whole dynamic. Now, I can hear you now. This is easier said than done. And I know that more than anyone else. I have been training in healthy relationships and effective communication and fighting well for over a decade. And even still, sometimes I slip back into that sort of me versus you mindset. So if you find yourself trying to put these tools and tactics into practice, but you find that you're still putting that thing, the conflict, the tension, the issue, back in the middle, feeling like you have to give something up, you have to lose something in order to like make peace with your partner, or maybe you're on the flip side of things and you've noticed that like you feel like you're pulling, that you have to get your way, exactly your way, and you're trying to like convince your partner, you want him to just like give up and give into your line of thinking to completely agree with you and come around. Like if you notice either of those dynamics still popping back up, you might need a third person to help, to like be in the room with you, literally or metaphorically. And that's where a relationship coach, a therapist, or other supportive professional can be so valuable to help you make sure that you're on the same side, on the same team. One of my roles as a relationship coach is to slow down the conversation, to help you sit with the uncomfortable shit that comes up, to keep you from reacting to each other rather than listening, understanding, and responding from a centered and open-hearted place. And here's something I observe in sessions that you can be on the lookout for in your own relationship dynamic, whether or not we ever work together. Sometimes one person will say something really important. It's often quite vulnerable, but then he'll immediately follow it up with something that shoots the conversation off in a new direction. Or he'll say that important, vulnerable thing, but the partner just doesn't really hear it and claps back from a place of what he thinks the person said, or what that person has said in the past, or his own concerns and defensiveness, rather than hearing and responding to what was actually said. And that nugget that's about to get skipped over is almost always one of the keys to unlocking what's really at the root of the problem. In these moments, it's my job to pull us back on course, to not skip over the important parts, to make sure that everyone in the room is fully understood. Or there might be something you're thinking about saying, but it just doesn't feel safe. So you never even get to that moment of revelation. You tell yourself it won't actually matter, or it won't make a difference, he won't be able to hear you, or he'll get defensive, or he's twisted. And so you have got to make space to be able to say the thing that you are afraid to say, and for him to hear it. And likewise, you gotta make sure that he has the space to say the thing that he's afraid to say, that he's worried you'll judge him for, that he thinks is weird or wrong. And this is not to say, make space to just say whatever you want, however you want it, in whatever tone you want it, without any consideration for what the other person will hear, or how they'll receive it, or how they'll feel about it. We still need to be gentle and considerate of one another, but that's different than not having the ability or the courage to say the kind of uncomfortable thing that maybe is not so seamy pretty, that that doesn't always cast us in the best light, or that we're worried we think it's a good thing, but we're worried that what if they don't, and it just feels so tender, what if they don't see me pretty? If we can find the courage to say it, that's where breakthroughs happen. And so you also have to make sure that you're that safe space for your partner. And you've got to make sure that your partner is that safe space for you. And if you're I'm not, it would not be safe for me to say the things that are most important to me, that is a place where we need some more intense interventions, because that is not going to be good for you in the long run. But if you can both get to that place where you're able to really say what's at the heart of your concerns, to hear, to not be threatened by it, to sit in the discomfort, and to be willing to work together to find a way forward, if you can do all of that, that's where the magic happens. And that's a big part of my job, to make sure everyone has the space to be fully heard and understood, and to help you find the courage to say the things you've been afraid to say. And then to support and guide you and your partner coming up with ways forward that actually work for both of you. To go back to that metaphor from earlier, we put that thing in the middle, and then all three of us are in the room together, and we can look at it and examine it from all sides. We're not just fighting over it, we're really looking at it, and we can figure it out, whatever your it is. We make a plan for it, and then we make things better. You are so much less likely to get into a tug of war when there is a trained third person in the room with you. You are so much less likely to get back into that tug of war pattern that we talked about earlier when there's a trained third person in the room with you. So if I can leave you with just one thing, if you find yourself falling back into that win-lose mindset, the relationship coaching program can help you finally break free of conflicts that have long been bothering you, and give you the tools, resources, and support to grow together into the next chapter of your relationship. Learn more and apply at thisisbgm.com/apply. That's all for today's episode. I'm Brian G. Murphy, and this has been your Permission to Desire.